What's good, y'all? I'm Skip.
And I'm DJ.
And we are back for another episode of DeCypherEd. And today we are breaking down Reincarnated off of Kendrick's latest album, GNX. And if you are new to the channel, we have a reaction to GNX that I had been forgetting to mention in the other videos. Go check that out. We on the way to 100,000 with that. So shout out to that. But if you are a returning listener and you want additional content or whatever the case is, either become a YouTube member or join the Patreon channel and become a decoder. So shout out to everybody who's been supporting us this year. 2024 was a great year for not only our platform, but for hip hop in general. So with that, we're gonna get into this, but just albums in general. Our hip hop album of the year reveal, that 25 list or however many, we'll do that probably in January once we're sure that no more albums are coming out and we'll have time to dedicate to just getting what our top 25 albums of the year will be. So other than that, how you doing, DJ? My man, 100 grand. So like I said, with no further ado, let's get to this Reincarnated breakdown, bro. This was one of the songs like on my first listen that like blew me away.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Like it blew me away because I'm just like you're never surprised when Kendrick goes to these lengths because he's personified God multiple times in songs. So it's not something that I'm not familiar with, but it's just like, who else is doing this shit?
Like the execution is crazy. And what I want to also address really quick before we really get into it, y'all got to stop being ignorant, bro. Like, only thing that's really people is taking away from it or looking at is, oh, he repping like Tupac. He think he Tupac. I think y'all missing the entire point of the song, bro.
Did you not hear To Pimp a Butterfly? like he talking to Tupac. Why is this a surprise? Like,
but I'm just saying, like, that's all that people, to me, from what I've seen, is taken from it. Like, oh, he just want to be like Tupac because he sampled the Made Niggas song and all. And I'm just like, y'all are truly ignorant, bro. Like,
and also, my bad, real quick, I forgot to say in the Man at the Garden breakdown, shout out to Nas.
Yes.
The one mic sample. I forgot to acknowledge that.
Yes.
And also shout out to Soundwave and Jack Antonoff. Y'all was producing y'all rear ends off on this album. And the other producers, including DJ Mustard. But Soundwave and Jack Antonoff in particular, because they did a lot of the project. I think Soundwave is credited on every single song. So shout out to y'all on the production. Fantastic job. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I just had to go ahead and get that out there. Cause that narrative, it just pissed me off because people think that like Kendrick is not original. Like he just want to be Tupac. I'm like, y'all are truly missing the point, bro.
But those are like detractors and people who are like, some of those people, like I think the rap battle really drew a line in the sand. Like it's almost impossible for people to be fans of both.
Yeah.
Like even like if, PDF accusations aside, right? Like if that never happened and whatever the case is, if you like Drake before and you just standing on the separation of art from artists, you can still like him now. And if you like Kendrick before, but you like Drake more and you mad at Kendrick for slicing and dicing your mans up, you can still like Kendrick Lamar. Right. And you can also, don't let me break the fourth wall, you can also like all three of them. You can also like all three of them. That's crazy, right? You can like all three artists. You can like Jay and Nas. You can like Jadakiss and Benny Siegel. Shit, you can like Ja Rule and 50 Cent. You can like Machine Gun Kelly and Eminem. Just because you can.
No, you can't.
Just because they went to war with each other, they did that. You are a member of the audience that they projected to, but you can like them as long as you want to. You don't have to cut off one of them, like, because of whatever the case is. You can like as many artists as you like, bro. Like, you're doing yourself a disservice as a fan. That's what I'm trying to say. As a person who genuinely loves music, you are doing yourself a disservice cutting one artist off for the other.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Very.
That's
Enjoy
stupid,
them all
guys.
because they all use your common sense.
It's stupid, guys.
Speaking of that's one of the guys that is extremely famous for separating art from artists. A lot of people still listen to Mr. Kelly's music, even though he's in jail for heinous acts. So if you can still listen to Robert, ain't no reason why you shouldn't still be in your mind feeling like you can listen to J. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake at the same time.
Yeah.
You can like them both. Or you can like them all. They all provide different things to the marketplace and to the soundscape. It's okay. It's cool. Let's get to this Kendrick shit.
Yeah, man. Let's see. As far as this verse here, and just far as just like the breakdown of it, like we was talking off mic, like once you get to the end of the song and realize who he's talking about, or rather the perspective of the person he's talking about, he was truly on that shit from line one. Yeah, when you go back and listen to it. So let's start from the
real
top.
Quick. I want to do some the Spanish theme.
Yes, I've been meaning to ask you about that.
Okay, so
I forgot in the other two.
Okay, so in Whacked Out Murals, she starts off. I don't have the Spanish translation. Yeah. I have it to English. It says, "I feel your presence here last night, and we started to cry." And then the other part is, "That reflects in your gaze that night, you and me." What exactly that means, I'm unsure. But that reflects in your gaze that night, you and me, is repeated from Whacked Out Murals into Reincarnated. So we, at the beginning, we might have felt like these songs were just slapped together, but it seems like he was introducing a thematic element by way of the mariachi single. I have not cracked the code yet. So if you have, let me know in the comments. Let us know in the comments. Because once we get a chance to do an actual album breakdown, I'm sure it'll, if there is something, it'll make itself apparent. Because if you watch the Squabble Up video, in Latin, there was a phrase that said, "Everything is something." So I'm sure it means something. He don't do stuff for no reason. And he put that in there so we could go look it up and see what he was talking about. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know exactly what that means yet. On one part of me, I'm like, is it like his his dark side? Could it be Tupac? Could it be, the other side, like his Gemini, his Gemini twin powering up? Could it be that? I don't know, man. So I once we get a chance, I do want to look into that and see what it possibly could mean through reviewing the whole album, because I'm sure there's context that we're missing. But yeah, let's get into the verse though.
Let's see. Okay, I got this fire burning in me from within, and concentrated thoughts on who I used to be. I'm shedding skin. Every day a new version of me, a third of me demented, cemented in pain. I just kind of want to touch on that real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay, so if you heard the song and you get to the end, you know that Kendrick is kind of like channeling a reincarnation cycle of Lucifer, God sending him down and being reborn through multiple people to basically, in simplest terms, to get his act together, right? And this is, so through these songs, like, you don't really hear Kendrick himself. This is really, the whole song is more so just Lucifer through the perspective of these other people. So he said, I got this fire burning in me from within, concentrated thoughts on who I used to be, I'm shedding skin. So even he realizes and knows and understands that I'm not the same person that fell from heaven. Now, like, I'm turning into something or someone totally different. I'm shedding skin, becoming somebody else new. Every day, a new version of me, a third of me demented, cemented in pain. And I think that's kind of like basically his sorrow of not being, he being ousted out from heaven, and basically just being outed and outcasted, and he's feeling a certain type of emotion about that. But also the third of me demented. I took that as kind of like, and I know this is Kendrick writing, but kind of like the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So I'm on the right path.
You give me that.
All right,
give me that. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Dang,
third of me.
Boy.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. But nah, the third of me is demented. The third of me, I'm thinking that's the Holy Spirit aspect of it. And he's really demented in pain because his spirit is troubled because he can't operate or fathom him going through these cycles over and over, experiencing life through all these different people and all these different perspectives when he used to be the most beautiful angel. You know what I'm saying? He had a place on the right side of God. Like, for that kind of status to be now, it's crazy. Like the ultimate fall off. So,
damn.
Yeah, that's a double. Damn. But I'll leave that alone. but yeah, I just really thought that was interesting how Kendrick wrote and set that up from his perspective. So I thought that was cool. Juggling the pros and cons of fame. I don't know how to make friends. I'm a lonely soul. I recollect this isolation. I was 4 years old. Truth be told, I've been battling my soul, Lucifer, and now this new person, battling my soul for control over this vessel. Trying to navigate the real and the fake, cynical about the judgment day. Of course, he would know about judgment day, being where he came from. So, cynical about the judgment day. I did past life regression last year. It fucked me up. Reincarnated on this earth 100 plus, just symbolism of a long ass time. And somebody of his stature, it would make sense for it to be a long time. Body after body, lesson after lesson. That's where it just kind of like I think this is like, that's where it stopped with Lucifer actually talking. And then from here is going into him as the person that he's reincarnated into.
Like like he was in this room and then it like transitions into like like basically storyboard and like into the person. Okay.
Right. Okay. So, but yeah, body after body, lesson after lesson. Let's take it back.
Like he's in the ether speaking at the beginning.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's take it back to Michigan in 1947. My father kicked me out the house because I wouldn't listen to him. I didn't care about his influence, only loved what I was doing. Like, so that could be, because like in these verses, Lucifer is reincarnated into some type of musical artist. Now, I got my theories, and I think Skip gonna really kind of touch on it, on who this person is that he's supposed to be reincarnated to, that lived back in Michigan in 1947. He was a gifted musician playing the guitar on the grand level. You know, so we gonna get into that. But as far as like this right here, I also think this is a double entendre as well, because he said, my father kicked me out of the house because I wouldn't listen to him.
Facts.
So that's another double of Lucifer. That's him kind of still riding the line of who's really, like, whose soul is it? Is it this new person or is it me in this vessel? Like the memories are getting blurred and it's all really becoming one and the same. Like it's layers to this shit, bro. That's just so fire to me, bro. I didn't care about his influence. I didn't care about his influence, only loved what I was doing. Gifted as a musician, I played guitar on a grand level. That's still a double because he was the director of music. Come on. Okay. The most talented where I'm from, but I had to rebel. That's still a double. I'm so off into the sunset, searching for my place in the world with my guitar up on my hip and the story unfurled. I found myself in a pocket full of money and a whole lot of respect. While the record business loved me, I was the head of rhythm and blues. The woman that fell to my feet, so many to choose.
So many to choose.
But I manipulated power as I lied to the masses, died with my money gluttony, was too attractive. Reincarnated. Bro, it's so many fucking layers in this verse, bro. And then like it's doubles all the way through, bro. Okay, it's literally parallels of him, his life, and the person that he's reincarnated into. And do you want to go into who you think that is?
Okay, two things. One, so what I saw online was, at first people was thinking it was Chuck Berry, but then also it was a push online for it being an artist by the name of John Lee Hooker. Rest in peace. He passed a couple years ago. Yeah. And I didn't really go into like the artist per se, because Kendrick has a song, like if you haven't heard it, titled Prayer. It was a song that was made around Mr. Morale, possibly in between Mr. Morale and Damn Era, like one of those songs that just, it got leaked online and it never actually came out. But he's kind of doing the same personification from the art. You know what I mean? He was speaking from the perspective of the created thing. Like he was speaking from, like he was personifying ABC from Michael Jackson, and he was personifying the "I Have a Dream" speech from Martin Luther King. And he was, the grand point of it was about separating art from artists, and just creating this long threaded metaphor of speaking from a perspective of somebody outside of himself.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't a concept of his that I'm unfamiliar with. So as I was listening to it today, well, okay, in the reaction, I thought he was speaking from the perspective of Lucifer at the end in the third verse. Because I know he has this 3-step storytelling technique where he will speak from other people's perspective and then go to his own in the third. So when he flipped to Lucifer, I was like, oh, damn, like this is an extra layer. But from continued listens, he is speaking from Lucifer's perspective the entire song. Mm-hmm. There is no moment in this song where he's speaking from any other person's perspective other than God. Mm-hmm. Like, because if you listen to the third verse, and I don't want to spoil what we're going to say, there's reason to believe, not even reason to believe, God straight up said it. I know you these people. Yeah. But I also know who you are. But it seems like you are not oblivious, but you are having, it's been so long and so many lives that let me clear the pathway to remind you exactly what's going on. Right. Okay, so like I said, let me pull up I just got to add that I'm not going for. But I got this fire burning in me from within. I don't want to read the whole thing. But the fire, this who I used to be, I'm shedding skin. Mm-hmm. The snake metaphor from the Garden of Eden. Fire. Every day a new version of me, a third of me the minute. Like DJ said, mind, body, spirit, Father, Son, Holy Trinity. The Holy Spirit like has a burning quality to it, like a purifying fire. So the fire burning in me deep within. What he say? Juggling the pros and cons of fame. I don't know how to make friends. I'm a lonely soul. And this is the only part in the entire song that kind of makes me feel like maybe he's still kind of speaking from Kendrick's perspective. I recollect this isolation. I was 4 years old. Kendrick was 4 years old at the time of the LA riots in 1992. Mm. So that could very well be what he's referring to. But it's still Lucifer speaking from these perspectives because he's living in these shells. Right. Mm-hmm. Like the spirit of music being an embodiment. I think it's Lucifer. He invokes the spirit of music in these people. Right. Exactly. So it's really still him speaking from the perspective of Lucifer. It's just like in this specific part, in this part of the verse, he's just speaking through Kendrick. So he's still living Kendrick's life. So not Kendrick yet. But no. The isolation, I was 4 years old. Oh, okay. I feel like that part, I don't feel like he started talking from the perspective of Mr. Hooker or Mr. Berry until he gets to Michigan in 1947. So I think all of this is still Lucifer directly, like in that ether. Like whatever soul realm he's speaking from. Mm-hmm. Like I think that's genuinely him speaking. What he say? Truth be told, I've been battling my soul, trying to navigate the real and fake, just trying to get to the bottom of what this experience is and why I keep coming back. Cynical about the judgment day. Probably like, I was gonna bring all of these people and we was gonna have a party, like, but nah, like I'm kind of like worried about this shit, like as I feel like it could possibly be getting closer, because it's like I can't even seem to get out of this. And if he was strong enough to put me here, what made me think I'm gonna win at Judgment Day? Yeah. So he say body after body. I did a past life regression last year and it effed me up. So he in the body of Kendrick, which Kendrick has mentioned in previous works, i.e. Mr. Morale talked about doing past life regression because he wanted to understand himself. Mm-hmm. But I feel like Kendrick doing it is like going through his earthly lineage, but in that too, the spiritual component, like Lucifer by proxy is also going through past life regression. Yeah. So body after body, lesson after lesson, Michigan, 1947. This is in possibly John Hooker, Chuck Berry, whoever y'all want to say. But then the parallels start to begin. Mm-hmm. It just continues the theme of it being Lucifer. My father kicked me out the house because I wouldn't listen to him. Mm-hmm. That's him being casted out. Yeah. And then kept by his influence, only love what I was doing. You know, I can be better than him. I'm gonna build my army up and we gonna stand against God and show that we're better than him, blah, 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 all of that stuff. Gifted as a musician. This is still parallel to his position in heaven.
Yep.
Most talented where I'm from, but I had to rebel.
Yep.
Going against God, getting kicked out. I was head of rhythm. What do you say? And so I'm off into the sunset, searching for my place in the world. Lucifer, dawn of the morning. I feel like that sun parallel is also present in there.
Morning.
So searching for my place in the world with my guitar on my hip as the story unfurled. I found myself, and this is also like a part of like when he really gets to experience the life from the musician standpoint of John Lee Hooker or Chuck Berry, because that person it doesn't really matter. Not that that person doesn't matter, but it being a specific person doesn't matter to me. I feel like the bigger picture is this is about Lucifer and whatever it ends up being at the end of the song.
Yeah.
We say, pocket full of money and a whole lot of respect. While the record business let me, I was head of rhythm and blues. The women that fell to their feet, so many to choose. But I manipulated power as I lied to the masses. Died with my money, gluttony is too attractive. Reincarnated. So it's like, as he says reincarnated, it's like, damn, I got to start back over.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, damn, the cycle. So
I failed this mission.
It's like, so he's like, but what he's caught up in is like, why do I keep coming back?
Right.
Like, I'm going through this and I can't understand why I keep coming back. Like, what is the thing? Like these, like I'm living as these artists, the objects of the flesh and of these worldly objects are getting the better of me because this is what I was likening myself to with my greed and all this other stuff that I was experiencing in heaven. I was almost experiencing worldly feelings in heaven, and that's why he kicked me out and sent me to heaven. Because I bet you want to live like that, gonna go down there, my boy. Yeah, and experience that. So, like the lust, the greed, the deceit, all of that stuff. That is still he hasn't relieved himself of those emotions, feelings, thoughts, triggers, and all of that stuff. So it's like, bet. You finna go right back around. You finna become another person. We finna try this again. Yeah, and again, and again. Exactly. Until you get it. Exactly, because in the Buddhist belief of reincarnation, until you learn the lesson, you continue to come back and incarnate as another person. Yeah. That's the thing. Now I got a question. I was asked, what is the difference between this song and Logic's presentation on this on Everybody?
The only difference, well, I'm not gonna say the only difference, but the main difference is in Logic's version of this, it was Adam in the place of Lucifer that lived every person's life. And when he finally got to the end of his cycle to where I'm assuming he learned the lesson, that's when he was able to elevate, and go to wherever he was gonna be with God. But I think that's really the only difference. Is the person that they chose to do their perspectives through. And I think I don't think it was done artistically either. I think it was just exposition. And it wasn't a song that did this. No, it was no raps or nothing like that. It was just the skits in between where he was just narrating, what it is, which is, it's nothing wrong with that. That's still like album crafting, like a concept album. Like it's still that. But I don't think it was done as well as this, though, because it's spread out through multiple verses. Technically, you could say multiple songs if you go back through Kendrick's entire discography. But yeah, I think that's just the main difference. With Logic, it was through Adam, but here Kendrick is using Lucifer.
Okay. And like I was telling the person that asked me, I was like, Kendrick did it in song form. Yeah. Like Logic was talking to Neil deGrasse Tyson, and Neil deGrasse Tyson actually was the one who described it. Like it wasn't even like Logic came across his epiphany. So I feel like the way it was presented is one main difference, and then like I didn't know about the Adam thing because I hadn't heard that album since. Yeah, it was Adam who's being reincarnated like over and over. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson was essentially, I wouldn't necessarily say he was God, but he was more so like an angel guide. Okay. Guiding him through purgatory. He was Iwatu.
Yeah. Oh, the Watcher. Okay. You a nerd.
Yeah.
Give me some on that shit, bro. Cool. You're a nerd. Cool. You a nerd. But yeah, like the whole, when he was talking to him, like he was talking through him in purgatory, getting ready to go through his next reincarnation cycle. So, like he was like, when you wake up, you're gonna forget all this and experience life anew until you come back here.
Damn, then so you gotta genuinely have the thought process in your living human experience.
Yeah.
You can't just like get it. Like it has to come to you throughout.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the difference between that situation and this, Lucifer knows that he's going through a reincarnation cycle because he's living all these different lives in his life.
And he's conscious of it.
Yeah, he's conscious of it. Verse kind of like in Get Out when she did the thing with the tea and he actually fell back into his own subconscious. He could see and experience everything that's going on, but he just had no control over it. And I think it's kind of similar to this situation. Lucifer is very much aware of everything that's going on, and he remembers his life, and it's just kind of paralleling through every life that he's living because he has not understand the lesson yet.
Yeah.
So his own innate desires is bleeding through this new soul that he's in.
And he has dominion over the earth.
Right.
So it's like he get to do his thing.
Yeah, he can get whatever he wants. So whenever he has that vice or that thing that comes up that he wants, it just innately just comes to him and he fails to test. And he's recycled all
right back through.
And real quick before we go to the next verse, like I said, ultimately the person that Lucifer is reincarnated to ultimately doesn't matter in the grand scheme of the song. But the main reason why I kind of think it's a John Lee Hooker musician is because it was it was one line in particular. He said, "But I manipulated power as I lied to the masses." John Lee Hooker, when I was looking him up, he released music through multiple like different names. And that was basically his way to combat the labels and things like that. So he can have control and power over his music. He would release songs through different names. So I took that as he manipulated his power as he gained fame and lied to the masses because you release some music under all these different names. They don't know it's you.
Okay.
So that, and one of his biggest songs was called The Boogie Chillin'. I know it's crazy, old English, but it's called The Boogie Chillin'. And guess what he calls himself in that song?
Lucifer?
The Boogeyman. And what's the title that people give Kendrick now?
Boogeyman.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I kind of, like I said, that may be a reach. And like I said, ultimately it really don't matter, but that's why I kind of think with Kendrick being so intentional and how he writes, is no way that if like he not see that connection. Yeah. So, because he called himself the Boogeyman multiple times. So, and with him having that in his background,
yeah,
it just kind of makes sense.
I dig it. I dig it.
But that's neither here nor there. That part's not truly important. But I thought I would just leave, since we doing a breakdown, I thought it'd be at least cool to acknowledge. So, but it's definitely all about Lucifer in this song.
For sure.
Yes.
Let me get to verse 2. Let me do this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, the person in this one, let me just say that first.
Yeah.
The person that a lot of people are saying that is being referred to in this one is Billie Holiday. And
it makes sense.
Yeah. So it goes through the process of depicting what that life would be. And the verse tells about how another worldly vice, addiction, stood to destroy another legendary musician and kept Lucifer away from realizing his ways and thus repeating the cycle. My daddy looked the other way. He saw sin in me. Once again, the broken paternal relationship surfaces from the first verse. And I forgot to mention that when I was talking about the first verse, there is a reoccurring, and that's why I feel like it's a cycle and it's referring to Lucifer, because the cycle to the nuances of the cycle continue.
Yeah.
Like the broken paternal relationship stems from him
and God.
From him and God, and then it goes into whoever the person in the first verse is, and then the second verse, and then Kendrick mentions it again in the third verse. So it's just like, all right, like your life, almost to the T, as far as the parts that are important for you to realize, keep occurring.
Yeah. It's the same thing, because you have not gotten the lesson. You haven't grasped what I want you to learn and teach you. And it is, at the end of the day, it is still all about free will in a sense. So I'm not going to make you do this. Like, I want you to come to this realization of your own doing, and then I can, you know, accept you back to where you need or should be in this instance, which is next to me. And but yeah, it's definitely still a lot of parallels with Billie Holiday's life and Lucifer's in this instance. Mainly the biggest line, you already said it, what he said, yeah, my daddy looked the other way. He saw sin in me because he saw the pride and the ego that was building up in him to where he was just like, you gotta go.
And then in this, it's like he's still watching me like a Watu. Like he watching, like he's peeking in on this reincarnation. And he was like, I'm turning my back to you. And it say that in the Bible, like, bro, it's only so much you can do before he turn his back on you. Like, God will turn his back to you. Like, if you keep acting like you don't hear him, bro, he will turn his back to you. And I feel like that's what he's doing to Lucifer in this. Like, he's a disappointed father. Like, he put you in a position to show and prove, and you continually show him, you can continue to disappoint him. It's like, bro, I'm gonna turn my back because I know you finna fumble the bag on this life cycle.
My voice was angelic straight from heaven, the crowd side.
Another connection.
A musical genius, what articles emphasize. Like, everyone praised and lauded him as the most beautiful angel, the most talented angel. You was my most talented musical director. So anything involving music through these artists, like you said, is innately, you know, just pulling from his influence and power. So it's just kind of like, how could you not see that?
Yeah. Because I think it's like he's still giving him the ability to have parts of his identity on earth.
Still, yeah.
Yeah. So
he didn't strip you of your power. Well, not your power, but he didn't strip you of your talents.
Because that is, it's almost like you have to have everything you have, or as much as you can from the beginning still in place to even look at it as a parallel.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, let's say you trying to teach a kid a lesson like, hey, don't touch this. Sometimes they tell you have to still give them the ability to do it to see if they're going to do it or not. And the measure of true discipline is them not touching it, even though it's available to be touched. You told them not to do it. So the true measure of how disciplined they are in that moment is whether or not they're going to touch it, even though they got the ability to. So he's like, hey, you still got this music gift. You still have the ability to choose between accepting these vices or not. I'm going to continue to give you dominion and just the ability to have free will in the life of this person. As you live in this person. The onus is on you to realize whatever you need to realize to stop the carnation cycle.
And use your talents the way they should be used, or rather just use them for a higher purpose other than glory, pride, and ego.
And that's what happened in this one. Like, it said a musical genius, what the articles emphasized, had everything. Had everything I wanted, but I couldn't escape addiction. Heroin needles had me in fetal position, restricted. Turn on my family, I went wherever cameras be. Cocaine, no private planes for my insanity. Self and drugs. Discipline never been my sentiments. I needed drugs. To me, an 8-ball was like penicillin, love. My happiness was in that brown sugar. Sex and melodies gave me hope when nobody's looking. My first assistant was a small town scholar. Never did a quaalude till I got myself around her. My daddy looked the other way. He saw sin in me. I died with syringes pinched in me. Reincarnated.
And that's how Billie Holiday, unfortunately, passed. So it's kind of like how, like, just the writing aspect of this and the parallels to research and know these different type of things, like, you gotta respect it, bro. Like, I just don't see, if you truly enjoy hip-hop or understand hip-hop, how could you not, like, be like foaming at the mouth of like looking and see what's next? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't understand it, because this shit is beautiful.
This is a grand concept,
right?
To realize it in writing form is amazing in itself.
Yeah.
Like, then the vocal performance, even if you just like off the pop beat and the vocal performance,
right,
that's elite. And then you look at it like, okay, to rap a song about this, like, to just do that is ambitious in itself. And then to pull it off in this manner, it's just like, bruh, like, songs like this are why he has a Pulitzer Prize. That's what I'm trying to say.
And then to be able to make so many different references and connections and make them make sense within his own concept. Like,
that's the art of storytelling.
That's talent. That's the, like you said, the art of storytelling. Like, it just baffles me, like reading this shit and just going through this line by line. Like, it just, Kendrick is solidified as one of those guys. I don't care what y'all say, bro.
Yeah, he in my top 3, bro.
So, yeah.
Of all time. He's in my top 3 of all time.
You want to go to verse 3?
I'm trying to see if it's anything in the second verse we need to talk about it. Nah, I think, let's go to because because I think the vice in the first one was more like
fame.
It was like fame and like that, like greed and stuff like that. This one, the lust of it all, created, like, that was the vice for this lust, and with the lust came addiction. Like the need for a physical gratification came in this one. And let's go to the third one. My present life is Kendrick Lamar. A rapper looking at the lyrics to keep you in awe. The only factor I respected was raising the bar. My instinct sent material straight to the charts. My father kicked me out the house. I finally forgive him. I'm old enough to understand the way he was living. Ego and pride had me looking at him with resentment. I closed my eyes, hoping that I don't come off contentious. Okay, so because I think I wrote a lot for this one. This the one I had the most to say. Okay, this iteration of the life cycle is Kendrick Lamar and seems to show a progression in his past life regression process. What I'm trying to say is, he seems like from the quote-unquote Billie Holiday iteration to the Kendrick Lamar, there seems to be some type of switch that turned on. To where there's some type of realization about what's going on, and he's having a maturation process. And he goes in to say, my father kicked me out the house, all the way to I took control of my fleshly body when the money changed. And I say this part paints Lucifer in a light of a more spiritual maturity than the previous 2 lives, which I just said. And the son, you do well, all the way to creates a cell. He said, God is trying to break through to Lucifer / Kendrick about going further in the past to the root of the reincarnation cycle and how he is a prisoner to the ills of his past.
And it also, I think it's also another kind of, I wouldn't necessarily say a double, but how Kendrick is understanding the work and effort he's putting into becoming a better person and a better man and being a role model in music, to where he's putting himself on this level of, like, for Lucifer in this version, I'm the person that he realized his faults through. So I'm the person that you need to look at, to where you can see the goodness of it, because you see the change that I'm making. You see how ready I am for the next step in my cycle, the next step of my growth, the next step of my rewards in life. I'm ready for it. I've shown you, and he's going to go into that later in the verse. But I think just for Kendrick himself, I think it was just kind of like his message to say, like, I've dealt with a lot of the things that was plaguing me. Now I'm ready for that next step, because I've gone past all the stuff, all the trauma that I had built up, and I'm ready to become that role model for everybody. So.
And more so by not telling them what to do, but just trying to show your work.
Show your work, bro.
And then he says, okay, let me go to this one, because I kind of want to. He said, Father, I'm not perfect. I got urges, but I hold them down. But your pride has to die. Okay, Father, show me how. Tell me every deed that you done and who you do it for. I kept 100 institutions paid. Okay, tell me more. I put 100 hoods on one stage. Okay, tell me more. I try to push peace in LA, but you love war.
No, I don't.
Oh, yes, you do. Okay, then tell me the truth. Every individual is only a version of you. How can you forgive? How can they forgive when there's no forgiveness in your heart? I could tell you where I'm going. I could tell you who you are. Now, that part is what I want to talk about. Those accolades won't correct the heart. And bearing resentment and not living in forgiveness will keep your heart closed and heavy. When you go back to the Bible, Pharaoh Pharaoh's heart was hardened by Jesus because by God, because he was living a life that wasn't of God. At that point in time in the Bible, they weren't of God. Like the initial Pharaoh, they were, but this one wasn't. So it was a godless time in Egypt. So for God to reveal himself in his true power to Moses, he hardened the heart of Pharaoh so Pharaoh could push, so he could allow God to show Moses what was up. Yeah. So it's like, okay, he made Pharaoh dare Moses to show him the power. Mm-hmm. So God was like, okay, bet, this is my opportunity to do so through Moses, to make Moses a believer so he will be able to take the people to the chosen land of Israel. Bro, it's crazy. So just flip the people. So in this, Lucifer is Moses, Kendrick is Pharaoh, and God is God still. Yeah. So through Kendrick's life, Lucifer got to see that, dang, maybe I can be good. Cause look at this dude. Even with me in him, he's pursuing God.
Yeah, just like he said in the lines before, he's like yelling, Father, did I finally get it right? Everything I did was selfless. I spoke freely when people needed me. I helped them. I didn't gloat. Mm-hmm. I even told them no when the vultures came.
Dang. Yeah.
I took control of my fleshly body.
I didn't read it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, took control of my fleshly body when the money came. Son, you do well, but your heart is closed. I can tell that residue that lingered from your past creates a cell. And that's the part where he is showing his work. Like I'm literally telling you, and this is what you saying that Lucifer is seeing like through Kendrick that he can be good because Kendrick is, telling no to all the fame and the vultures and things like that. This is him showing his work. Like, see, God, like I did it right for once. Like I'm starting to understand, like through him, I'm not making the same mistakes I did before. So can you forgive me now? Because I'm starting to understand you can see the work. But then God just felt like, okay, you almost there.
But I got to show you like really what it was. So he say, what he say? I can tell you what I'm going. I can tell you who you are. You fell out of heaven because you was anxious. Didn't like authority. Only searched to be heinous. Isaiah 14 was the only thing that was prevalent. I looked it up.
King of Babylon.
Let me share it.
Yeah.
And this is Isaiah chapter 14, verses 1-5 read, all your pomp has been brought down to the grave, along with the noise of your harps. Maggots are spread out beneath you and worms cover you. Verse 12, how you have fallen from heaven, morning star, son of the dawn. You have been cast down to the earth, and you who once laid low the nations. 13, you said in your heart, I will ascend to the heavens. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will sit enthroned on the mount of assembly, on the utmost heights of Mount Zaphon. 14, I will ascend above the tops of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. 15, but you are brought down to the realm of the dead, to the depths of the pit. And with that, I think the depths of the pit and him, because also earlier in that verse, he was like, hey, I'm gonna make it so don't nobody even know you, bro. Like I'm gonna send you to where the death is, and the people who are already dead and those damn souls are waiting on you anxiously. They can't wait to see you. You thought you was finna be on top. I'm finna send you so low where people that you would once look down on, you can't wait to meet you. I was reading that chapter today. I was like, oh my God.
Is that Compton?
No, that is just pure hell. Like
I'm just saying, like, as far as like, since he's reincarnated through Kendrick, and if I'm sending you here, like, and how bad Compton
I just think it's just the earth in
general,
just being just littered in sin since the day of the apple being like all of that. Just like I'm gonna send you here as punishment because you just can't. First of all, you don't appreciate where you was.
Right.
I'm finna put your ass in timeout.
For a long
for an undisclosed amount of time. Until you realize what you did, you finna sit here. Mm-hmm. And I'm also gonna sit you here with the opportunity to continue to do the shit that you was doing that got you here in the first place. And until you stand up and like, I don't wanna do none of this no more. I wanna do right, you gonna stay right here. Mm-hmm. So every time you touch one of these toys, I'm gonna reset your timeout time.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be able to look at this clock. I'm like, damn. And after so long, you're gonna forget. Or you just gonna confuse, like, damn, like I don't even remember what I did initially. And that's why he was like, you fell out of heaven because you was like, let me remind you exactly why I sent you here.
Mm-hmm.
But also he continues to go and really break it down after what's prevalent. My greatest music director was you. It was colors, it was pinks, it was reds, it was blues, it was harmony and motion. I sent you down to earth because you was broken. Rehabilitation, not psychosis. But now we here now. Centuries you manipulated man with music, embodied you as superstars to see how you moving. You came a long way from garnishing evilest views. He said, then he's like, I've been slowly watching you. I've been watching you progress, and I've been putting you in superstars to give you everything that you could possibly want to see how you would handle it.
Mm-hmm.
To see if you had all of these earthly things, would you pursue me instead?
Mm.
What is it for a man to gain the world and lose his soul? That line directly applies to Lucifer in this position. That's why he gave him everything that he could ask for. Because if you wanted a world that you can rule over, go to earth, bro. Let me see you to earth. And you can do that. But at the end of the day, the glory that you live in, the perceived glory, will never be even close to the glory that I have on high in heaven. You'll never be me, bro. Even to the point where I sent you here and I can bring you back up if I want to, but I'm only going to bring you up unless your mind right.
Because those same people that you had dominion over, as long as they confess their sins and believe in me,
they going to come back up here with me.
So you can be petty all you want to, trying to block their blessings, trying to influence them, manipulate them, because you jealous. You be petty. You know what I'm saying? You hating. You know what I'm saying? Trying to stop people from getting what they need to be. It's okay. You gonna stay there for however long it takes to make you learn that everything is through me, bro.
And also, if you stay 10 toes down, I'm gonna beat your ass at the end, and I'm gonna lock you down there for all of eternity. Don't play with me, boy. Like, this is like when your son grow up and you gotta up his ass by his collar with both hands. Like, boy, I will. Ooh, don't make me. Ooh, but I will. Ooh. Ooh.
You take it down, taking it further.
And that's something you don't want to do. And I think that's why he said in the first verse, I'm getting cynical about the judgment day. Like, I'm kind of getting scared. Like, I'm kind of like, damn, bro, like when that happens, do I really want to be on the wrong side of history?
Do I really want that smoke?
So
bro?
let me see what's going on in my spirit. Let me see what this fire is. And that led him to go through these progressions. Yeah. He's just like, all right, dang, like,
let me keep my shit together.
So now he like, in the Kendrick iteration, he like, shit, I've done this, and third. Like, bro, guy, like, all right, cool, but nah, my nigga, you gotta cleanse your spirit though. Like, I don't give a fuck about these earthly institutions, bro. If you're not earnestly and dedicated to pursuing me and putting all this to the side, ain't no home for you here, Playboy, especially from what you did at first. So yeah, let's what it say? All I ever wanted from you was love and approval. I learned a lot. No more putting these people in fear. The more that word is diminished, the more it's not real. The more light that I can capture, the more I can feel. And I think that comes from not just Kendrick, but different progressions, like seeing the good in people. The more he can feel that, which slowly brings him closer and closer back to wanting to be accepted by God, kind of on the Grinch shit. Like, once he started hanging with the young girl and like seeing how good she was, like, hey, like maybe I want to be good again.
But what kind of arrogance and ego you gotta have to live these multiple lives and have in this shit, and it take you this long to understand and get, like, how many levels you had to knock down and break through to get to that, just because your arrogance is that high, your ego is that large.
The type of arrogance and ego that made him think he was gonna be bigger than God. So crazy. You gotta think about it too. Like, to go from, like, bro was like, I'm better than God, and I'm a outshine God in heaven. The person who created all this shit, I'm gonna be better than him. So he was like, you gotta, it's so far from that in humility. So yeah, it'll take a few thousand. It'll take a long ass time. It'll take a lot of different bodies living through on this earthly plane to get to the point you like, nah, I just want your approval. So he basically saying that the jealousy came from him feeling unvalidated. But it's really like, bro, you should have just played your position. Like
exactly.
That was your validation. He made you that.
Yeah.
He made you that, bro. And now he's like, okay, you wanna
like you didn't appreciate your position. I literally gave you, well, I made you able to use your talents, what you most love to do. I gave you that ability to do so. And
I created you, bro.
So
I loved you enough to create you and give you purpose.
Give you purpose. That's the word. Purpose, bro. I gave you purpose and you chose to go against that purpose. That's crazy, bro.
Damn, bro, we preaching.
That's crazy,
we preaching. Bro. Hold on, what did he say? Okay, let me go back. I'm using words for inspiration as an idea. And then God says, so can you promise that you won't take your gifts for granted? Lucifer says, I promise that I use my gifts to bring understanding for every man, woman, and child. How much can you vow? I vow my life just to live one in harmony now. You crushed a lot of people keeping their thoughts in captivity. And I'm ashamed that I ever created that enemy. So let's rejoice where we at. Bruh, he got to that and God was just like, bet. You can come home now.
Yeah.
I rewrote the devil's story just to take our power back, Reincarnated. So all of that gets to the point of, with this telling of this story, Kendrick is like, bro, we don't have to accept that music is innately evil because Lucifer had dominion over it in heaven and was casted down. We can use our gifts as musicians to uplift, promote, unify, all of that stuff. We can do good with this.
Right.
And that's the ultimate message in this song.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to tell y'all that we can use, I've gotten as far as I could doing all of this stuff, or as far as I have. And I'm here to tell you that at this level, where people say you gotta sell your soul,
you don't.
I'm here to tell you don't have to. Cause your soul and the person who has dominion over that is above any principality on earth that'll ever exist.
I rewrote the devil's story just to take our power back, meaning, like you said, we can create music freely without being tainted by evils and temptations. Like, that's not what it was meant. That's not what it was intended for. The art and just the creation of music was never intended to be evil. It was supposed to give honor and praise to God. That was the whole initial point of music. So how can we just go with this notion that music is innately evil when the whole purpose of how it was made wasn't evil? So he's like, nah, I'm going to rewrite this story to take our power back so I can give the right praises and things, you know, so how it's supposed to be. And if you choose to take this route, follow me and I can help you navigate through this. That's
so fire, bro.
That's fire, bro. That's fire. And then the more I think about these songs that we breaking down, I was starting to agree with you. Like, these type of songs is not going to be on no mixtape, bro. These aren't songs these are meaningful, impactful songs, bro. That these are album quality songs.
Yeah, the more I listened to this album, the more I got mad at people calling it a mixtape.
Yeah, it's not. And
that shit dismissive.
And I hate I said that, just honestly. But I mean, that was just off my first listen. So just forgive me. But now that I'm listening to this multiple times, and like I said, we still haven't done the full breakdown of everything on the album yet. But just these songs that we breaking down now, this ain't no damn mixtape, bro. Nah. This is fully fleshed out thoughts and concepts that he's given to the masses, and there's no way you can dismiss that. So
yeah.
It's just, it's too detailed.
And then people were saying shit about the production. It's like,
how? That's probably the best things about it.
We're not gonna argue that.
It's crazy.
We're not gonna argue that. Jack and Soundwave did a phenomenal job.
Absolutely.
And DJ Mustard did a great job too, as well as the other producers that I don't know the names of right now, but y'all did a fantastic job with this album. And the fact that it seems like this album came out and was created and conceived in this year, just makes it even doper to me. Especially with all the shit that was going on, which he allowed to be muses for the music he created.
Right.
So this feels like more of a real-time assessment of the era. And the only reason I would say that there's a possibility of another album is because I just with the gap between the tour the Super Bowl, and this album being released.
Yeah.
And then the other song, and then the other Grand National.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if SZA hop out that hole, because SZA said she's dropping an album before the year ends, and then she's co-headlining a arena tour, so I would think she has some new material.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been talking about Solana for at least 18 months, because it was supposed to initially be a deluxe to SOS.
Oh, so that's the name of her next album is Solana?
We don't know.
Oh, okay.
So if she hop out, I won't be surprised. But if Kendrick drop another album that's attached to that song, that snippet song,
yeah,
I also won't be surprised. So I want to say this here, and then we're going to get out of here. This is an album.
Mm-hmm.
This is the album.
Yeah.
There may be another album,
mm-hmm.
but we need to sit and review and digest this one.
Mm-hmm.
As a work of art from Kendrick Lamar.
Absolutely.
Not just like, okay, we're going to put this to the side after we heard it and then have anticipation on the next one. Because if it don't, you're not going to get us on the proper love it deserves, or just the attention. Because love sounds like I'm trying to force that on you. Mm-hmm. Just the proper attention as a hip hop fan.
Proper respect.
That too. Take this one for what it is, consume it, absorb it, digest it, live with it. And if another album does come before or after the Super Bowl leading into that, that's a completely different and additional venture than this one.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just get this one and in a week be yearning for something else. Let this one exist, because y'all gonna be looking stupid as hell like y'all did when Damn came out and y'all was like, on Easter he gonna drop Nation and it's gonna be Damn Nation. Let's not do that. Let's just take GNX for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything else you want to say?
No, I didn't realize that was a thing, the Nation.
Yeah, because he dropped Damn on Good Friday,
mm-hmm.
so they thought the another album was gonna get released on Easter.
I never heard that before. That's crazy.
And that's kind of what led to, because in that time the reverse theory came out too. So it was almost like I'm responding to that.
Okay.
And then he released the collector's edition in reverse. But yeah. Thank y'all for tuning into this episode of DeCypher. Me and my boy DJ greatly appreciate it. Mm-hmm. And if it is over 20,000 subscribers, please do us a favor and just either put 20K in the comments or put congratulations to Cypher. And we're gonna try to get back to every single one of y'all that say that in the comments. And somebody asked for merch. Don't have any. But I think I want to do a collaboration with a designer in 2025 and possibly have some merch for y'all sometime next year.
Wait a minute.
Oh yeah, this is old school off the record merch from the podcast that we had that started in 2019. It's gonna be better than that. It's gonna be better than that. But other than that, like, comment, share, subscribe, man. The Patreon link will be in the description. And if you want to join and become a YouTube member, that should be available on there as well. And until next time, we love, appreciate, and respect all of our hip hop fans. Until next time, peace.